Okay, so now you can see by our CAD drawing of the TARDIS, we built the base yesterday, which is right here, and now what we're going to do is start working on the 4 corner posts that make up the 4 corners of the TARDIS. So if I look at this in section, you can see how this is going to lay out, how this is the police box light here, here's our windows, overhang and everything, and eventually we'll get over to the roof. So what I have here is a little detail of how I'm going to build these corners up. So I have some 1x6, some 1x4, 2 of them, and then I'm going to rip another 1x4 down to 2.5 inches, and then I have 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch quarter round. The 1x6 I'm ripping to 5 inches, so I'm going to have 3/4 inch overlap on each side, 3/4 inch overlap for the quarter round, and I'm going to make 4 of these, total height of 7'7". Okay, we're starting to assemble our first corner post. We have our 1x6 ripped down to 5 inches by 3/4, and we have a 1x4 ripped down to 2 3/4, stapled together. Now you'll notice that this is different looking wood than this. This is pressure treated. I'm using scrap lumber from previous Halloween builds that I tore apart, wasn't going to use anymore. Requires me to pull out a lot of staples, things like that. You can do this all with pressure treated lumber if you're going to leave it outside. You can do all with regular pine. Just if you're going to leave it out, make sure you paint it really well with an exterior grade paint, which is what I'm going to do. So now I'm going to nail a 1x4 here and a 1x4 on the back side. So give me my 3/4 inch reveal. Then I'll put my half round, my half round, and my half round. That'll complete one column. So I'm going to go ahead and staple up the other 4 columns, and I'll attach my 1x4 and keep moving. Okay, I'm about to nail this 1x4 onto the fascia of this for the column, onto the wide part. So what I'm going to use is a little chunk of 1x4 as a spacer, so that I don't need to measure or anything else. I just put it up there, and every time I put a nail in, I'm going to use this to guide it along the edge. That'll give me 3/4 inch on each side. And then the other 1x4 will go on the back side here. That'll give me my nailer there. Alright, as you can see now, I have the other 1x4 nailed on. And then I will put all my quarter rounds in the 3 corners. And then this column will be done. So now I'll finish these 3. Okay, and here we go with the quarter round. Put it here on this side and over here on this side. We'll do this to all 4 columns, and then the columns will be done. And then we can attach them to the base. And what we're going to do is we need to cut a header that will sit above the doors, but below the police box, the police call sign box. So we'll rip that out of some wider 1x stock, and that'll form an upper framework to connect the tops of these columns together. We will attach the base of the columns to the platform, and that'll give us our basic structure for the TARDIS. And then after that we can start building the doors and walls. And there you have it. 1 column finished. Now we'll do the other 3. Okay, so our 4 columns are built and sitting out on top of the platform. And what we're going to do next is build this piece here for all 4 sides. And then the police call box sign will go on top of that. And then this very top piece here is a skirt that is actually part of the lid, and that's what's going to help seat the lid, because it's going to sit inside the columns. So this is just some wide lumber, and then strips of Luan that are stapled to the top of it there, that you can see here in the section. So this is our top rail of our door. Then we've got this 1x6 right here with strips of Luan that are ripped down to various widths to sort of create the steps. So 1.5 inches, a 2.5 inch, and a 3.5 inch wide 1/4 inch Luan and a 1x6. Okay, so what I've done is I cut 3'9" runners, 2 of them, and 3'7.5" runners. I'm going to tie all this together, and I have attached them 7.5 inches down from the top. And my base box, which is 6 inches tall, will sit here. It'll leave 1.5 inches at the top, which will allow me some space for the roof to fit in there in between these rails. So I cut these temporary stays that I'll attach down at the bottoms while I stand this up, get it all squared up, and then finally attached to the platform. Okay, so all the header pieces are screwed on and the bottom splays are screwed on. What I'm doing now is I'm cross bracing everything so I can get the other side of the columns on without things falling all over the place. If you have a helper, this makes things a lot easier. I'm doing this by myself, so I want to make sure everything is not going to fall over. So I'm going to add a couple more cross braces in the other direction, which will also help me stand it up and get it onto the platform by myself. Again, if you have a helper, it makes it a lot more simple and you don't have to do as much of this. And there you have it. The TARDIS frame is now up onto the platform. I will pull down cross bracing once I attach it. And I'll be doing that with angle brackets at the base. And kind of go forward from there. And then next what we're going to do is rip our Luan filler pieces, which will go here around all 4 sides. And we can even put in our threshold at the bottom, which goes across here. That'll help lock things in a bit so they don't move around. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I am attaching the Luan strips. I got one more to go, so I got 3.5, 2.5, 1.5 inch strips all the way around. A nice little detail.